It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
I mean, what do you call that? Was that an unlikely win for the Bears over the Vikings on Monday Night Football? Because the Bears did win. If you're just waking up to this, the Bears beat the Vikings 12-10. I don't think it was an unlikely win because they actually statistically dominated the game, but it just didn't feel right. And then it felt perfect with one throw. I will start with, again, for the benefit of the people who just couldn't stay up late and you're just waking up to this, the Bears won that game despite they had 4 interceptions in the game and only scored 3 points off of those takeaways. Usually, it's like in hockey with the old, if you don't score when you have the 2-man advantage, you lose the game. If you don't capitalize off of 4 takeaways with real points and dominating the game, then you probably are not going to win the game. But the Bears did win the game, and it got right just when it needed to. So unlikely, though. The Bears were up 9-3 late in the fourth quarter. With about 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the game, Josh Dobbs with a 17-yard touchdown pass to TJ Hawkinson, eventually with the extra point. It's 10-9 Vikings. Bears get the ball back. 3rd and 10, Justin Fields fumbles ball. He fumbles the ball away, turns it over. However, and now it's looking like the Vikings can just win the game. With a solid drive, they could win the game. Their drive was lousy. The Vikings drive stalls at the Bears 45. They end up punting the ball away. The Bears then, with 2:30 left in the game, they start their drive on their own 22-yard line, and the drive was not looking good right up to the point of a 3rd and 10, and Justin Fields finds DJ Moore 36 yards down to the 10-yard line, setting up eventually a Cairo Santos 30-yard game-winning field goal. Minnesota did get the ball back with about 10 seconds to go, but no funny stuff. The Bears straight up win the game by a final score of 12-10. The problem is that really watching this game, that's what we want to see from Justin Fields, making some plays. And he made a couple plays with his legs on that final drive as well. That was excellent. But 2 late fumbles in this game. Again, it's the same old stuff, and it's stuff that has to stop in the evaluation of Justin Fields. If last week for me was a check in the yes box for Justin Fields, this was a check in the no box for Justin Fields this week. And I know the irony of that. And I love that pass to DJ Moore. It was great. There were just too many times where Justin Fields had the ball in his hands and either the 2 big fumbles or just did not lead the offense to touchdown drives especially after some of the turnovers. And not all of it was his fault. You had the busted drive after the Jaylen Johnson pick. I mean, that was a train wreck, folks. Bears are up 3-0 at that point. Kyler Gordon gets it going with a unsportsmanlike conduct, or taunting in this case. Got the old ejection warning for that. There were 2 more penalties on the drive and then a punt. And that was after Justin Fields overthrew Darnell Mooney and about got him killed. So there were some doozies out there in terms of the Bears offense. I'll say this about Justin Fields. It was not a terrible game, not by any means. But at this point, you have to grade him on a higher scale. And you have to look, I've been, I've given him breaks. I've given him excuses through the years. But now you have to be at the point where you are just absolutely honest about Justin Fields. And early on that first drive, even though it eventually did not lead to anything, you know what I loved was Justin Fields, the play breaking down, Justin Fields on back-to-back plays, buying time with his legs and then ultimately finding a receiver. And in both cases, it was it was a running back, Khalil Herbert on one, Roschon Johnson on the other. And I also like the parts that Roschon Johnson had a nice night, especially early on in that one big pass play, and the dude does run really hard, which has always been something I've been a little concerned about with Roschon Johnson, like almost like out of control power sometimes, reckless power, I guess would be a better word. But man, it all looked good for Roschon Johnson on this night. But back to Justin Fields, and I realize I'm all over the place here. But Justin Fields there were just more times where he did not take advantage of opportunities. Not that it was all bad. This was not a game where you're just like, that's it, he's gone. That was an atrocious game. No, not the case. Just not enough finishing throughout the game, and you just cannot have those fourth quarter fumbles. They will destroy you, and they will maybe be the difference between you being a starting quarterback in the National Football League and not being a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Defense needs a lot of praise tonight. Matt Eberflus does get a pat on the back for the defense that he has been leading since the Allen Williams debacle. I mean, it's really been terrific. And tonight was great. 4 legitimate interceptions on the night. Should have been more. Jaylen Johnson should have had a second as well. Another pick six he should have had. Man. And by the way, he'll be on the score with Parkins and Spiegel today, if you're listening here this on Tuesday. But yeah, Jaylen Johnson had a pick. Jaquan Brisker with a pick. That was the one that went off of Jordan Addison's hands. That was pretty sweet. TJ Edwards' pick, that was a Jaylen Johnson deflection. Jaylen Johnson had a really good game, by the way. He deflected the ball, and then TJ Edwards gets the pick, and then, of course, it was just a field goal. The Bears got out of that. And then Kyler Gordon. So much of what we were talking about last week after the Detroit loss was make a play. Somebody needs to make a play. Kyler Gordon made a play. That was the ball that went off of Justin Jones's hands, and Kyler Gordon gets the pick, setting the Bears up. That was enough, but that led to the Justin Fields fumble. So you can kind of see where this night went. It was defense making plays, offense not capitalizing, offense often making matters worse with fumbles and turnovers and things like that. Bears penalty wise were sloppy in the first half. 6 penalties for 71 yards in the first half. And then I believe, I didn't jot it here, but I think they only had one more penalty of the rest of the game. So they got it together, but they did have certainly some costly penalties in the first half of the game. But the Bears do manage to hold on and win. I will say this. Justin Fields is better than Josh Dobbs, I think. And again, he had a huge touchdown pass to TJ Hawkinson at the end, but somebody I was talking to today, this is the way these things work. The Josh Dobbs magic is going to eventually wear off. I don't think there's like a quarterback debate in Minnesota when Kirk Cousins returns, whenever he does. But I don't think he is he? But Josh Dobbs, it's been a fun story, but boy, he did not impress me. He didn't get a lot of help at times from his receivers. He zipped that one ball down the middle of the field. I don't remember who it was, but somebody dropped it. It was a hard throw, but on a night like that for Minnesota, if you are them, your playmakers got to be making plays. So I will definitely say that Josh Dobbs. And how about Cairo Santos, man? I mean, everything was setting up in this game to be another classic, just complete awful loss that we don't even really know what happened. Cairo Santos missing the early field goal, but coming up big with the game-winning field goal of 30 yards to ultimately give the Bears the win. So you definitely got to give them a thumbs up for that. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached the bye week. The Bears don't play again until Sunday, December 10th. They'll be on their bye. They host Detroit that day, by the way. Then they're at Cleveland, home against Arizona, home against Atlanta, and then they finish the season January 6th. Where? At Lambeau Field in Green Bay. So 5 games to go in this NFL season for the Bears. I'll be out at Hallis Hall tomorrow, and then I think that will be it. So I'll definitely be reporting at least tomorrow on what they're saying in the aftermath of this win for the Bears. Thank you all for listening to the Daily Score. I always appreciate it. I appreciate my producer, Ray Diaz. Thank you, Ray. Hope you guys all have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow on the Daily Score.